Hello, this is the BenBinFro Thought for the Day for Tuesday, the 27th of June. And the reading is from Romans chapter 12, verses 1 to 8, and I'm reading from the NIV. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. For by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment, in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. For just as each of us has one body with many members, and these members do not all have the same function, so in Christ we, though many, form one body, and each member belongs to all the others. We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, then serve. If it is teaching, then teach. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. If it is giving, then give generously. If it is to lead, do it diligently. If it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. Well, there we have a passage from Romans, possibly the densest of Paul's epistles, and certainly the epistle of Paul's I would personally take to a desert island if I was only allowed one epistle there. And as always seems to be the case in this particular epistle, this reading does pack in a lot. The reading looks at two characteristics of the default human condition that can be considered poor, if not actually sinful. One is that of following the crowd, or groupthink to use the modern terminology, and the other is that of arrogance resulting in refusal to delegate. So first off, groupthink, which is addressed mainly in verse 2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That translates as think for yourself, even if that is not what the group is thinking. The verse continues by stating that only if you do this can you determine what God's will actually is, and thus follow it. The second part of the reading addresses arrogance and the failure to delegate. Verse 6, for instance, starts with, we have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. The passage requests that everyone should honestly and humbly consider their strengths, and by deduction, their weaknesses. Paul makes reference to the various body parts we all have. They tend to be highly specialized, undertaking very few functions alone, but together allow the highly complex human body to function properly. In the same way, a church as a whole can only function with each member of the church undertaking their own specialist role. And this is certainly true. You only have to attend a church working party to see that. It is also true in today's complex structures of companies, etc. No one person can understand in details everything going on in any organization of any size. Thus, even a complex organization such as the church can still grow if everyone works as a team, with each person undertaking work within their expertise while trusting others to do the same. So, in conclusion, this passage is telling us to think critically and not necessarily follow groupthink or popular opinion, and excel in the areas we are good at, trusting others to excel in the other related and dependent areas they are good at. That would seem to me to be good advice in all contexts we are likely to find ourselves in, and not just those contexts related to the church. Well, that concludes my thought for the day. Thank you for listening and have a good day.